All right, hello everyone, it's silverkyle and welcome to my TBR for February 2024. These are all the books that I hope to read in the month of February, but I do have a few stragglers from January that I think will get pushed into at least the beginning of February. So I don't know exactly how many I'll get to in this list, but I am feeling pretty confident that even though this is stacked, I'll get to the majority of the books here. So let's start it off with the first book that might actually start at the very end of January. January 31st, I wouldn't be surprised if I start this book. That being The Shining by Stephen King. I absolutely loved The Shining with Jack Nicholson, the movie. I'm curious to see how this differs from that movie. And then as soon as I'm done reading it, I actually have the 4K Blu-ray. So I'm going to dive into it and really get to see the both of them and do a real comparison. So I'm excited for that. I also have two friends that are going to be reading this. One of them I've read a few books with at the same time before, and then a mutual friend of ours kept hearing us talking about books, so he wanted to get on it. I suggested, okay, well, how about you read Will of the Many? That's my biggest recommendation from last year. See how you feel about that. He read it. He loved it. Absolutely loved it. He got the kick to start reading again. So I said that we're going to be reading The Shining. He ended up getting that and the first 3 Wheel of Time books because I also recommended that. So he's right deep into it and he already started reading The Shining. I don't know exactly where he is. He's probably close to like 150 pages, 200 pages at this point in time. And I'm just waiting for my other friend to get it and then we'll kind of start this. But very excited to kind of see where this third horror novel by Stephen King leads me. And I just love the look of this. This is the first printing here, and I just got a really nice copy. Very nice. I'm gonna have to get some dust jacket, some sleeves for these plastic sleeves that I ordered and are going to be coming. And I'll probably do a video about that because I feel like when you get hardcovers, it's really nice to protect them, especially old ones like this. It'll look, well, it protects them first of all, but I think I also really like the look of those covers. The next up that we have is The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, as I continue my Wheel of Time reread for the first 8 books that I had read, and then I'm going to continue on and finally finish the series once I get to book 9 and continue on and finish up everything there. I cannot wait. I am loving this. I loved rereading The Eye of the World. I feel like The Great Hunt, when I read it the first time, was either equal or maybe even a little bit better than The Eye of the World. They're very close. So I'm curious to see how well I'm going to do in this reread. We've got Loyal here, and I believe that's Celine. I think that's Celine. I'm not 100% certain. That was my guess every time that I looked at it back in the day. So kind of curious to see how this goes. I know that there's a lot that goes on with Matt. If you're part of if you've read the series and you know some of the characters. So I'm definitely looking forward. And what happens to Egwene and Nynaeve is pretty intense too later on in the book. So I'm looking forward to kind of diving back into that once again. Now we have one book that I want to read because the movie is coming out and part 2 is coming out. Sorry, I have something in my eye. I'll just all of a sudden. We're good. And that is Dune. I have never read Dune. All I know is that it is the grandfather of sci-fi, essentially modern sci-fi. Like everything kind of stems from this. So, because I think that this came out in '65. So a lot of early ideas probably came from this. And now I'm looking at all the different books. Obviously, it's not from the same author throughout this entire thing. But I think the first 6 are from him, potentially. I know the first 3 at least. Yeah, it looks like, okay. The first 6 are definitely from him. And then he has other books as well. And then other people that kind of continued on his works. I don't think I'll go that far. I'll kind of see how I feel about this book. And then I would like to finish at least the trilogy. Yeah, 1965. This is a lot of cool ideas are probably in this. And I just absolutely love this hardcover that I have here. So I'm going to be ready for the movies. All right, so that's kind of everything that I have that are older stuff. Then it's going to be newer releases. And I'll talk about The Tainted Cup first. So that comes out on February 6th, I believe. And that is a fantasy type of investigator mystery novel. So it's kind of like everything that I love. That kind of, by the sounds of it, looks a little bit more like on the comedy side with a Sherlock Holmes in a fantasy setting. It's kind of everything that I like all meshed into one. I'm really excited to kind of see how this book comes out and if I enjoy it. And I think it is going to be part of a series. I think this is book one that they might continue on with some of the characters from this series. The next one is the last of the trilogy of the Empire of the Wolf. So this is book one here that I have, but the third book is called The Trials of the Empire, and that comes out February 12th by the looks of things. I am very much excited to see how this series ends. I started reading this last year, read the first two books. Definitely enjoyed my time with them. I think I enjoyed Justice of the Kings a little bit more because it was more grounded and I liked the storyline a little bit more. It just felt like it ran a little bit smoother, where I felt like the sequel had a little bit too many things kind of going on. And the third one definitely looks like they are going to be having a mass. It's kind of all leading towards this potentially big, massive battle, I think is what they're leading towards. And I kind of hope that they don't have any side quests necessarily in this. I do like side quests, but for this series, it feels like when they kind of just focus on one thing, it works a lot better. Or if you're going to have a side quest, make the side quest part of the bigger quest so that they are related and you're still heading towards that is just something that I would like to see. But definitely looking forward to The Trials of the Empire. And then the last book that I'm hoping to read in the month of The Tainted Cup, I did mention that was by Robert Jackson Bennett. I have never heard of this author before. And then the last one that I want to read is called The Teacher, which comes out on February 12th, and that is by Frida McFadden, I believe. And she has some other thriller mystery novels that I've seen before, so I've at least heard of her before. Just haven't had the pleasure yet of reading anything from her. So The Teacher will be my first novel that I read from her. And it's essentially about a high school teacher, I believe, that has the perfect life with her husband and I think kids. And she's going to be getting a very troublesome student that got a lot of people into trouble previously. And it looks like the student lies and will do anything that they can to keep their secrets as well. So that's essentially all that I know about The Teacher. But I've heard high praise from this author before from some of the previous books that they wrote. So I'm looking forward to that. There's one book that's coming out at the very end of February. There's no way I'll be able to get through all of this plus a few stragglers from January. But if I do, I think this is more so going to be a March read. But there's also End of Story that comes out on February 26th that I am going to be looking forward to, but I don't think I'll be done all of this by that point in time. So that's definitely not happening. So that is everything. That is everything I hope to read in the month of February. Let's see how far I get through with all of this. And let me know in the comments below what you are looking forward to in the month of February, what you're going to be reading. And thank you all for watching. You have been bearded in. Beardage.